I think the squad's nearly there. We brought the lad in from Leicester now. Sounds like a right wing back or thereabouts. So we've got options on the right wing back. On the left, we've got Bristow and Brough, and Patrick has played wing back, and so we're okay there. In midfield, we've got Smallwood, Kenner, Lowe, Finley. Of course, will be back in a couple of months, whether people want him or not. And then centre backs, we've got Turnbull, Smith, O'Connor. Brough can play there. Lowe can play there, as he showed first half yesterday. So, and then in the number 10s, we've got Whitaker, we've got Patrick, we've got Solomon, Jennings can play there. Hopefully, if Dennis has got a serious injury, then that kind of really accelerates the need for more attacking. So for me, I think yeah, probably a couple more. They might look to bring in a couple of younger development players, perhaps a centre back as cover, perhaps a keeper, but definitely an attacking player. And it may well be that if we do that, we can then perhaps send Solomon out on loan for a couple of months. He might go somewhere, bang a few goals in, and come back to us in good form. Yeah, so yeah, for me, but a number nine, preferably someone with. And of course, the problem with strikers is they probably command the highest wages, and the best ones are probably taken. And a lot of teams want a striker, so they don't grow on trees, perhaps as much as fullbacks or centre backs, centre mids. Good strikers are hard to find, so I do accept that. And we have, I don't know what our budget is, but we have. People will criticize Palios for a variety of reasons at the moment, but we have dished out a lot of 2-year deals to your McGee's and your O'Connors and people like that, and then we have signed, your Nathan Smiths and your Kenner and your Smallwoods, and so we've spent a bit of money. Although with that said, we did release quite a few players. So I don't know how much is in the budget left for an attack. I hope that it isn't, that the budget now, there isn't many pennies left in the piggy bank, and we're scrambling around for an out of contract 32-year-old who hasn't played much football in the last couple of years, or an 18-year-old on loan from Blackpool who we've never heard of. That said, you never know, you might get lucky and unearth another Rob Apter style gem, but an attacker. So for me, I would like a, a, a backup keeper, probably, maybe a centre back, but not desperate, but a number nine. But the question is whether we can afford somebody who is realistically going to be any better than Dennis, Davison, Jennings. I don't know if we'll be able to afford that. So uh, if we can ship out someone like Saunders, we could loan out someone like Solomon, then maybe we can. But for me, I do think we need someone who's, I say, a proper number nine, not someone who works hard and runs about. We could all do that. Holds the ball up. That's all very well, but we want someone who is going to be in the middle of the posts. That when Amari Patrick puts a ball into the box, they're getting on the end of it. A goal poacher. And as I say, I know that they don't come cheap, and I know that there's not that many of them around. But if I had a shopping list, that would be at the top of it.
It was quite exciting to hear Andy Crosby state that he feels the squad still isn't complete, because I think a lot of us feel it's actually a pretty good squad that they've got there. Certainly one that should be good enough to hold their own in and around mid-table. And then it's just about kicking on to the next level, being the top 7 and above there, really. So if Andy Crosby feels that he can still add to the squad, good, because it means he's obviously targeting higher up the league, and good because it means he isn't satisfied with what he's got at the moment, and that shows the ambition that we crave as supporters. I just wonder where anyone is going to fit into this without someone being moved on. As you say, a backup goalkeeper I completely get. There's only Luke McGee and Joe Murphy in the squad at the moment. But if you look at the rest of the team, there's so many players in every position, really. Centre midfield, still got Sam Finley, in theory, to come back into that position. Granted, there's going to be no Josh Williams because of his knee injury, but that central midfield area looks well occupied. Nohan Kenner didn't play last night. Sam Finley didn't play last night, but there's still plenty of options there. The strike force, Christian Dennis, Sol Solomon, Josh Davison, Connor Jennings, Harvey Saunders are all capable of playing as the spearhead of that front three. You could probably say that Taylor Harris could pick up that role as well. And then you've got Whittaker or Patrick or Harris or Jennings, Saunders, Solomon. They've been used in the positions as the two just behind the central striker as well. So if there is to be a striker coming in, which I think is what everyone would hope for, then there's going to have to be movement out. Sam Taylor's already gone. I cannot see how they can bring in another striker and still keep Harvey Saunders and still keep Sol Solomon around, because neither of those players are going to get the football that they need. Solomon in particular to kick on his career, and Saunders just in general, because let's be honest, I think most of us expect him to be looking for another club come the end of the season based on the fact he's had so few minutes at the start of this one, albeit it is still very early days. So there's going to have to be movement somewhere to allow for a player to come in.